also. He's such a local hero, the defending champion, Tony Lopez, wearing the Tiger trunks, that's his nickname, but Rocky Lockridge is the old-timer here, 30 years old. And last July when they fought, it really was a photo finish with Lopez winning, and the American Ring magazine named it their fight of the year, and nobody argued. So now can Lockridge claim it back? He's got a lot to do. They're pretty handy with hometown decisions for Lopez. He's fought, would you believe, 25 times in Sacramento, and all his fights have been on the West Coast, and that's a good start on the deck, Lockridge. That's a bit unusual. He usually soaks it up a bit. So Lockridge, the mean machine, well, I think he's one of a few cogs in the works there, the way he went down. Well, those first round knockouts, Lockridge's great one was when he knocked out Roger Mayweather, who's now the light welterweight champion, but that was back in their super featherweight days. That's 9 stone 4. And this is the same weight here, 130 pounds for the IBF version of this championship. Same weight as Barry McGuigan. And presumably there'll be efforts to get the winner in with him if the fight between him and Azuma Nelson, a very formidable champion as well at this weight, doesn't come to contract signing. Good loose fighter, Tony Lopez. Very little of him been seen on television in Britain. 30 wins, 1 defeat, and that was by disqualification. But Lockridge, I think today has been around with more of the top fighters than anybody in the ring at the moment. He really has. Wilfredo Gomez, Eusebio Pedrosa, the man whom McGuigan eventually dethroned, and the great Julio Cesar Chavez. He's been in with all of them, Lockridge. So 5 of his 6 losses actually been in championship fights. What a warrior this one, eh? This is his 12th world title fight. So the Duva management have done a good job with him in terms of getting him championships. And he defeated Australia's Barry Michael, and that was at Windsor. Good hard scrap this. It looks like being a repeat of the first fight. One time in that fight, last time in the 8th round when Lopez looked like going out, he was on the deck. So it can go either way here. Presumably Lockridge will get over that punch, but only just, because he's really laying into him, Lopez. He fancies his luck now, second time up. Referee Robert Bird. What a fight, what an opening round. And just listen to that crowd behind Lopez. They love him here. Just look at them, they on their feet there, talk about baying at the Colosseum in Rome, and have another look at that. And in replay you see those punches. Look at that one coming up, and that was the knockdown there. He really was standing so square he couldn't miss him with that punch. So we're into the third, and in the second Rocky Lockridge came back, tried to ignore that knockdown, and probably getting corner orders there from Lou Duva. Don't stand square in front of him, you'll get hit that way. Often rematches don't live up to expectations, but I have a feeling this one will. Good, colourful fighter, Tony Lopez. If he retains this championship, what a battle it would be with Barry McGuigan. We keep talking about Azuma Nelson and McGuigan, but this should be an attractive battle as well. Maybe it's a pity that McGuigan didn't get a hold of Rocky Lockridge when he held the championship, but I'd have certainly fancied McGuigan then. He's a pretty fair boxer too, Tony Lopez. He's a good stiff puncher, can stand and trade with punches, but he picks them off, fellas. As you can see there, you see, he puts them together in clusters. Can't afford to hang his chin out, Lockridge. I tell you, he's very accurate. Lopez, as he throws, particularly with the right hand. Lockridge does that. He comes at the opponent, tries to dishearten a little bit. been in some great battles. In and around Monte Carlo, Rio, Garda, Alaska, San Remo. A real travelling pro, this one. The old line of mine about how gumshoe will travel. Oh, that left hook there. Again, he's caught spare, you see. The moment he stands there and doesn't cover up at all there, he gets tagged. Second time down. That's the man to create. And I tell you, the crowd would be happy to see it over now. They're so with this Tony Lopez. Such a hero in Sacramento. I tell you, to drag him out of here is the only chance you've got of maybe getting the championship. What a fight. Scheduled, of course, championship 12. Can it go that long? So a good start then by the defending champion.
Keep him up.
Just hasn't got the steel in his chin lockers that he appeared to have early on in his career. 43 wins against 6 losses. Lopez there almost shows Lockridge a right hand and still gets through with it. Pandemonium, absolutely. They absolutely adore this guy. He can do no wrong at all. He's the Barry McGuigan of California. And then replay, we can see this one now coming. He just catches it lovely and square, perfect from the button over. He's got to go. Off balance as well. He'd like to have stood up from that. But the follow-up punch made sure he'd go over. We're in around 4. And it's going to live up to the return blaze of publicity, but nobody thought it could possibly be as good as the first fight. But this one looks as though it will. Could this really be the second fight of the year? Well, they've got to go some to beat Roberto Duran and Aaron Barkley. Gutsy performer, Rocky Lockridge. Nobody gets it easy with him. He's been knocked down from that position before Lockridge. He's still willing to push Lopez on the ropes and try to get the work at the body like this. What infighting. Neither of them looking to hold there. Perfect at infighting that. Real American style that. Looks as though there's some blood showing around Lockridge's eye there. A bit of scar tissue he's had over the years, it's understandable. He's trying to drain the champion's stamina there. He really works away, he legs away to the body all the time, like a dog burrowing for a bone, isn't he, Lockridge? Way he keeps letting those, digging him into the ribs like that. What a fight. Well, I thought Barkley Duran was a bit of a cracker on ITV, but this one's going to be equal it by the look of it. It keeps up like this. So now it's Lockridge's turn to get through. And clash of heads there. Not intentional. The crowd are booing there, blaming Lockridge, but there's a little bit of both. But he's beating there now, Lockridge. Oh, that would be a pity if it had to be stopped through injury. Well, I'd say the old Warrior's hanging in there. And it was close last time. He's flashy, Lopez. But he can do the business when he has to. He's got everything that Hector Camacho's got, except for the difference in weight, and Camacho was in fact champion at this weight, 9 stone 4. Hold it right there, says the referee. Now they've got to work on the eye now, then the referee's going to have a look at him, and the character Duba's going to have an argument with him. There's a bit of flashy stuff going on. really is confident when you can drop your hands when you're close in against Lockridge like that. Look at that. Here he comes and gets over the top. So Duke was arguing with the referee. It's a strange rule they've got in California that you're entitled to longer rest between rounds to patch up the eye. And Duke was saying that's what the rules say. But there you are, they're used to do the complaining. But I think technically, I don't like the rule. I think it's a very odd one. They can go up to something like 60 seconds more. So now if it got stopped with injury now, the referee would have to decide whether there was any deliberate parts. He hasn't made that known yet, and the man ahead on points get the decision. But I tell you what, they won't give it against Lopez here this early anyway. What a battle. Let's hope it can get sorted out without any argument. Well, when you reach this level in American rings, I tell you, well, they don't lark about, do they? They really give action. They've really got quality. Amazing fitness, too. Just have to have a secret route for the old timer who's been in with the best, been through the mill. It'd be great if he could get his championship back, but I wouldn't shout that too loud if I thought the crowd could hear it here. Anyway, you notice they can just put a bit of Vaseline and adrenaline cream, I think, around Lockridge's left eye there to staunch the cut.
Don't wrestle, fella. Don't wrestle. Let's go.
Well, that's fair enough. Don't wrestle. There's a bit of pushing going there, but they got mixed up for the first time. They've normally been free in the clinches and let the punches go. So he's complaining about the head there now. He's saying he butted me, and the referee's saying take time out. Now what's he going to do here? I think he's probably going to take him over and let the doctor have a look at him, and the crowd are booing. And he's saying it's cut, he's caught me with his head. Oh dear, I hope there's no controversy here.
I didn't see it, so I'm going to poll it.
He didn't see it. He's going to poll it, which means he's going to go around and talk to the judges to say, did you see a butt? And he is. You can hear him doing that now.
Did you see a butt?
And they're shaking their head to say no. The crowd are saying yes.
I didn't see a butt. You did not?
He's a bit deaf, that judge, with the sound of it. He's shouting at him. And he definitely says no. He's picked it up. Okay, so they can go on now.
I didn't see it either. Therefore, it's going to have to be assumed that it was a legal punch, okay?
It's assumed it came from a punch. Nandu has not objected to that because it's in his man's favour. Well, what a battle, eh? In the fifth round, they're both cut. The referee did the right thing. He a bit drawn out, but he was in order to do that, and he says it wasn't the head. If they didn't see it, 3 judges and a referee, I'm afraid Lopez was outvoted. But I've got a feeling a few thousand in the crowds reckon he was robbed a little bit there.
Watch your shoulder, Rock, watch your shoulder.
Good loose fighter, Lopez. There it is again. Now it really is a hard battle. There's a few missed punches as you would often get, and that's where the heads are clashing, and maybe that was where they tried to spot. If that's where the heads came, it obviously was a clash of some sort. There it is. He's protesting, but it certainly wasn't deliberate.
When he's ready, I'll send you after him. Okay?
So in goes the adrenaline, and out for the 8th round. And I tell you, they've both got on with their night's work here. This is some battle.
Drop the water.
So if Barry McGuigan's looking in, and I know he is because he's a fan as well as a performer, keep in shape, Barry, if you have to fight either of these. Hadn't seen much of Lopez before this, only twice actually in action, so it was difficult to judge, but he's a very competent performer. As I said, 30 wins, 1 defeat, a lot of protection at home, but on the other hand, he can do it when it matters. So there's not a lot in this now. Despite the knockdowns, Lockridge has clawed his way back. See, that's still leaking blood now from the champion. They've managed to staunch Lockridge's problem there around the eye, but certainly Lopez is under a little bit of fire there from it. But it's well away from trouble, as cornermen would put it. Well, there's one thing about Lockridge. He doesn't fight like a veteran with lead in his legs. He's still got a lot of movement there and good speed of hands as he gets himself warmed up as the fight's gone along. It really is. To get over those knockdowns and come in and try and out-punch Lopez. He's 25. A little bit more desperation now with the Californians. And come on, don't let this fight get too close. And he's responded immediately there, Lopez.
Let's go.
I tell you what, this defeats the argument about if it's on television, nobody goes. They'll all go if the fights are like this. Great round this, the 8th. And this is an old argument where they sort the men from the boys at this level. When it gets to about the 8th round, and you've got to dig deep into those trenches to fight back. They could do with a half an hour's rest, couldn't they, at the end of this round? They really have punched themselves to standstill almost. Watch this now, it really gives you an idea of the speed as it comes in there. In slow motion, it just as well it was on the top of the head for Lockridge. Similar punch when Leonard was knocked down. Out for the last then. And again, really, nothing in this contest. And obviously they will lean to the local, I would have thought. Judges wouldn't like to hear you say that, but it's called unconscious bias and pleasing people rather than anything. But maybe Lopez is stealing it anyway, but there's really nothing in it. Between the 8th and 12th round now, Lockridge has really almost leveled the points for me. Well, he won't see much better championship than this. I mean, it really has been a great battle, and Lockridge has done well to get over the knockdowns. Lopez has shown that he's a worthy champion. There was some dispute whether he was really a good champion, but he's the IBF version. And Brian Mitchell is the other one, the South African, but unfortunately he doesn't get much of a look in because of the apartheid objections. Great last round as well. It started this way and it's going to finish like it. I bet the judges could do with a knockdown here to try and sway it either way. What a colourful performer, Lopez. No wonder the crowd love him. Gutsy as well. Well, Lopez was almost out last time, but not in this fight. He stood up a lot stronger. He's really absorbed Lockridge's punches. attempts by Lockridge to try and outgun him, to try and outgame him if he could, but haven't really come off because Lopez always fights his way back in. What a good old pro he is, Lockridge. My heart goes out to him as well. There it is, inside the half minute then. What a finish. And a little bit of showmanship from Lopez again, and the crowd absolutely adore this, don't they? They love a big finish to make sure their man's going to get home. There must have been some hard work in the training schedules for these two. They must have done some miles in their early morning road works. They've stood this pace tremendously. And remember, there's been all this body punching going on that normally weakens them and makes the hands come down. There it is, toe-to-toe to the bell. And great respect as always between these guys. If they know the other guy can fight, they don't mind. It's when they've been cheated out of a decision, they don't like that. And Lockridge is, well, you can't tell with him whether he thinks he's won or not. He looks a bit downhearted because it was close.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a unanimous decision. Judge Fritz Werner scores it 116-111. Judge Frank Cairo scores it 114-113. Judge Robert Martin scores it 117-110. Winner by unanimous decision, and still the IBF Junior Lightweight Champion of the world.
Well, there it is, Tony Lopez.
The Tiger Lopez.
And only by 1 point on one judge's card, but this is some exciting fighter.